I think the culture shocks is a great topic because I could talk about this all night. What up, though? It's your host Troy Justice Imported, and I'm here with the legendary Yodai Nakamura. How you doing, Yodai?
Yo, I had a paranormal encounter the other day. I don't know if
What?
I, yeah. So I just moved flats here in Prague. Okay. So like the first 2 months was like a temporary setup. Now I'm like right by the center of town. I'm in a really nice area. Basically, this flat opened up because the previous owner of this place, some like 82-year-old grandma just recently passed away. Nobody lives here now. So that's why I'm able to be here now.
Right.
But yeah, because I had so much stuff at my old place, I would like, day by day move a couple things in, then like go sleep at the other place,
Yeah.
come in, move more stuff, like just the typical moving process. And when I finally moved in, my roommate goes, "Yo, man, I think her spirit's still around because like I feel some cold spots around this apartment occasionally." I'm like, "Nah, dude, you tripping." As soon as I said that, the cabinet where I'm keeping like all my clothes and stuff collapses, like from top to bottom. Like the back of the cabinet like gives out. It's like concaved out. The whole cabinet goes like. I'm like, yo, what the hell, right? So, and here's the crazy part. I'm still using this cabinet right now because the next day, as if nothing happened, the cabinet's fixed and nobody touched that stuff.
Nah, bro. No,
Bro,
bro. No, the
on God,
maintenance man
on
had
God.
to come while you was at practice or something. Ain't no way.
Bro, like it happened in the evening. I'm like, yo, this is trippy. I went to sleep. Then I woke up the next morning and it's just fixed.
You sure your roommate ain't fix it?
I don't think so, dude. I mean, he's a smart fella, but I don't think he's got that kind of capabilities.
You say the toolbox not in his toolbox is what you saying.
Basically,
Okay.
he's not the brightest shed of the two, or however you say it in English.
The sharpest tool in the box.
Whatever, bro.
I love
Whatever.
teaching you English metaphors.
I thought I learned
Hey,
them, but the two stones, one bird, man. That kind of it's like that was a big what is life moment.
when you said that in France, I thought that you just like misspoke because who speaks English correctly? I don't exactly. Um, but I thought like you just misspoke. So I wasn't like correct you because I'm like, you know, I know what you meant. But then you said it again, and I was just like, I don't think he knows. So I had to tell you because I ain't want you, say the wrong things. But
Yeah, well, too late, my friend. Been going around a long time saying it.
two stones, one bird.
Everybody needs a fresh start, though. Everybody needs a fresh start, though. I got that fresh start here in the Czech Republic. So, and that's another issue we have at the moment. Um, Baseball Czech thinks my name is Yoda.
Stop.
If you go on like the box scores and like all the live streams and stuff,
Yeah.
Yoda Nakamura, no I.
You know how like sometimes you read something, you see what you want to see. They wanted you to be Baby Yoda so bad that they just got rid of the I.
Nah, I wanted to ask you, man, this like culture difference because I was talking to my roommate. He played in Germany last year. I've played in Germany too, but it's like,
I played in Germany.
okay, yeah, yeah, we've all been in Germany,
Yeah, we
yeah.
all been in
But
Germany.
it's like, yeah, it's Europe, but even within Europe, there's different countries,
Yeah.
different languages spoken, different history, and all these differences. And there's just like, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, what would be like the biggest what the hell moment, like a culture shock that you went through?
Oh, the one that comes up to mind for me is I was in Germany. Now, the first year I was in Germany, I had a host family. The second time I was in Germany, me and all the imports stayed together, and we had a flat. And if you don't notice, Germany does not play with the trash. They do. They are not messing around with that trash. It's not just like trash and recyclables. It's like plastics got a bag, paper got a bag, trash got a bag, metal got a bag. Like everything has its own thing. And honestly, to this day, I'm still not exactly sure. But on top of that, we would try to figure it out. So this one day, I thought I had it. I thought we did it right. Not even 10 minutes after I take the trash downstairs, my upstairs neighbor is at my door on the second floor with all my trash.
Ooh,
Like, hey, you did it wrong. And now she's holding my trash, telling me how I messed up the trash. And I'm like, no one would dare do this in America. No
yeah,
one
it's like
dare knock on your door with your trash like you did it wrong. But in America, well, at least where I live, it's just trash, recyclables. That's it. It's hard
recycle.
to mess that up. But like in Germany, the stuff has a certain bag. Like if you threw your recyclables in the bin, no one would care. But if you don't put that plastic in the green plastic bag, it is a problem.
Nah, it's the same in Japan too, which I think I didn't have that problem. What's funny is I had that problem after I moved back to Japan to play college. After I finished college and I went back to Japan and I signed there. I'm like, yo, I just got so used to the US way of throwing everything in one bag, like you were saying.
Mhm.
But I would say, man, my imagination skills, like I've always considered myself like a creative character. I
Definitely.
think of some crazy stuff, but yo, like that took me to a whole new level because like the way we do it in Japan is like raw stuff. For example, we have raw garbage,
Hmm.
flammable garbage,
Hmm.
non-flammable garbage, recyclables, plastics. Like it's all broken down. And genuinely, bro, like some of the stuff, I'm like, yo, does this burn? So I'm going through like a whole simulation in my mind. I'm like, yo, okay, so if I put a lighter to this and I light it up, would it burn? No, would it burn? No, I think it burns. So I would just like sit there for like 5 minutes imagining this shit, bro. Like, and I think that took my creativity to like a whole new level.
Well, how would this turn out in the incinerator? Does it say like on the packaging, like, yo, you can burn this, or you just gotta
Yeah, that was my next point. Yeah, I was going through all of this when I could have just looked on the package, but the eyes, it didn't fit in the widescreen, if you know what I mean.
no, I mean, especially after you used to some certain way, you like in America, you didn't see a burn or not burn label for how long? So,
Yeah. So like actually though, so for me, I'm used to it now. Like the check has the same system in the grocery stores, which I'm about to talk about.
oh yeah, let's
This
talk about the
happened.
grocery store. Yeah.
This happened day two in France last year. Okay. I did not want to go to like the human cash register, where there's a
Yeah, you wanted
worker.
to go to the U scan. Yeah.
Yeah, like the one where like you scan and you pay by card and yada yada yada. We have that in Japan too. I usually, go through that because I hate people. But anyways, in Japan, like after you scan it, and I think it's because it's Japan, it's a very like honor code based country. So like I'll just go there with like an empty backpack, like grocery shopping, right? I'll just go with the
Mhm.
empty backpack and then like all the food or whatever I bought in the cart, I'll scan it, put it in my backpack. Scan it, put it in my backpack, and then I'll close it up, pay, show the receipt, and I'm out of there.
Yeah.
I tried to do the same in France, but I guess in France, like the bagging area has a scale. Actually, I found out most of Europe does that now. So there's like a scale on the bagging area
Yeah.
where it'll weigh like, okay, like what he scanned and what's on the scale right now matches. So
Mhm.
unless that doesn't match, you can't go on to like scan the next thing. So I think I bought like a thing of pasta or something, and then I put it in my bag, but I couldn't scan the next thing. And mind you, this is day two in France, and like I picked up enough German to get by, but French, I only picked up oui oui baguette. So I'm like, what is going on? And a worker comes over. I'm like, sorry, can you do you speak English? They didn't. But then they're like freaking out. I'm like, okay, what did I do? Next thing you know, they're like, okay, okay, stay here. I'm not moving. They come back with cops. I'm like,
Oh,
what? Right? And so this was like a grocery store across the street from the hotel I was staying at, like the first few weeks in
mhm.
France. So now these cops come and they're talking to me in French. I'm like, no, 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 English, please. Like, and I still didn't have my SIM card yet. So I couldn't use Google Translate either.
Oh no.
So what I concluded was they thought I was stealing. That's why I was like putting it in the bag. I'm like, no, like I'm trying to scan and like, the hand gesture, the movement. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh. So then they showed me, like, they took the stuff out of my bag and put it on the scale. And, they're like, you have to like have everything here, then pay, then you can bag it up. So that's like the system out here. But yeah, man, not even 24 hours into France, and I almost get arrested for suspicion of theft of pasta.
You know, I I've subconsciously have been putting the thing on there and then I put it in my bag because I don't know, in my head, scanning it and putting it down is faster than scanning it and put it in my bag because I don't want to put my big dusty backpack on top of the thing. But I'm sitting here like, you know what? You right. They do be having a scale on there. That's crazy. But this is my thing. If they thought you was stealing, right? If they thought you was stealing, why did they think you were just gonna stay there while they went to go get the police? That's what blew my mind. I'm just like, y'all, I'm sitting here, I scanned it. I know you see that it's scanned, and I put it in my bag
Yeah,
on the thing. Y'all just like, nope, you police,
I
help,
mean,
police. No, that's
I guess
that's
I
what
guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know. And like, and what was kind of like, it was on me too, but like, I'm just going to the grocery store, so I didn't have my passport on me. Now, my passport had like my French visa, like I was there legally, everything is good, but like
Mhm.
they don't accept my Japanese ID because the Japanese IDs they have no alphabet on there. It's all Japanese, like all kanji symbols. So
Yeah.
even when I go to a club and I try to show like my driver's license, they'll be like, "We can't take this. Like we don't like it's your picture, but we don't know what it says." So I carry my passport around always because of that.
Yeah.
But in the moment, like I did not expect something like this to happen on the grocery run. So
Yeah.
I lucked out, but man, that was that was interesting.
I got another culture shock story for you. Well, maybe not culture shock, but something that I had never seen before. I was playing in Australia, and my teammates would go to this club on like Thursday nights. They were like all like uni kids, and people were like giving their ID to the bouncer or whatever. And it was this girl, like a couple people in front of me, and he was looking at her driver's license, looking at her, and she was like asking her stuff like, "Where you live? What's your birthday?" And she had answered it right, and he looked and he was like, "You got an iPhone?" She like, "Yeah." He was like, "Go to your iCloud," and she just took her ID and just walked away. Cause your name is in your iCloud and your ID on your thing. So he was like, if your ID is really yours, your phone's gonna say the same thing on the ID. She just left.
Oh, so it was like a fake ID.
It might have been like somebody that she knew that like looked like her sister or something. People do that.
Oh, to like buy like alcohol
Yeah, or
or
getting
whatever.
to the club and stuff. And I was just like, yo, this is bouncer of the year. Never would have thought.
That was another interesting thing. Now that you bring up Australia, like like European gas station, U.S. gas station, Japanese kombini, like you were in Japan,
I miss
but
Family Mart so much.
yeah. So, well, for me being the drinker that I am, like it was a big culture shock that I have to go to a bottle shop, literally called bottle shop, like a store specifically for alcohol if I needed to buy alcohol. I can't just go to like a grocery store and buy like a 30 pack. No, I have to
Yeah.
go to a separate store specifically for alcohol. Like that was interesting. That was
Yeah.
interesting.
Did you ever see the drive-through liquor store?
I have, yeah.
Like that blew my mind. I'm like, yo, what? They're like, yeah, drive straight in. And you just be like, yo, grab me that pack over there, and they'll scan your ID, tap pay, throw it in your trunk. I'm like, this is way too convenient.
Yeah, like especially like with drinking and driving too. Yet you have like a drive-through for alcohol. That's
Yeah. But I mean, what's stopping you from going inside the bottle shop, popping that brewski, and getting in your car? So I guess it really wouldn't make a difference. But just,
but yeah, but it's just
I
like
don't
the
know.
irony, you know.
America would go crazy if we had something like that. And it wasn't just like a one-off thing. It's just like there's like one in every town at least.
I know you're not much of a beer drinker.
In Australia, they love that Japanese beer though.
Asahi, yeah, I saw a lot
Yeah,
of Asahi everywhere. Yeah,
yeah.
so that was pretty convenient because that's what I drink back home too. And so I think I told you my grandma, I guess like she used to go to school with like the former CEO of Asahi or whatever.
Oh wow.
So they see each other every year at like their 60th reunion, 65th whatever reunion. But we'll just randomly get like a box of like a 24 pack of Asahi. I'm like, yep, hand that over, hand that over.
I think the culture shocks is a great topic because I could talk about this all night. I
That
remember,
might be the theme for tonight, low key.
yeah.
Because
If we
speaking of beer and culture shock, I think I'm pretty sure I told you about how at Oktoberfest they thought I was a Nazi. I told you about that story, right?
yeah.
So let me explain for these for the podcast people. 2 seasons I spent playing for the Hard Bulls in Vorarlberg, West Austria. Now, Vorarlberg is very unique in the sense that no German speakers can understand that region because that region has like a very specific dialect to that area. And if I remember correctly, I think within like a 10-kilometer radius, because it's like a bunch of villages and stuff, like small towns, just all like leading into each other. I think within like a 10-kilometer radius, there's like 25 different dialects, which is crazy,
Wow.
right? So when I was first learning German, like, I can, I know how to say like some of the dialect phrases. When I converse with like these German players or when I'm ordering stuff, like I'll speak Hochdeutsch, like the proper like textbook
Hi.
German,
Yeah.
like where, we both played in Hamburg, for example. That is a very clean German.
McLean.
But in this West dialect, like there's a bunch of German greetings, right? Like the
Yeah.
Bavarians would say like Servus or Grüß Gott. Up in the north, like where we were, they would be like Moin,
Moin.
Moinse, Moin, Moin, Moin. But
Yeah.
here in hard, okay, we say Heide or Heide, depending on if you want to keep it short or if you want to sound cute. So I just thought that was like a variation of Zevus, and depending on who you talk to, even the Zevus changes. Like some people are Zevu, some people are Zevas.
Yeah.
Like, so I just thought it's like, okay, like another one of those phrases. And 2022 Munich OG Oktoberfest, I was there on opening day. So like with the parade and everything, like it was a great time. By the way, everybody watching Munich Oktoberfest, please, once in your life, go. Back to the story. So we're having these like the big, liter beers. Like you get a bicep workout too, like a bicep forearm workout, bunch of curls. But I'm already like 3, 4 deep. Saldini was there too, our friend Saldini. We gotta invite him one of these
Yeah, we
days.
gotta get him on here.
But the ladies walking around because these tents are packed. Most people are standing, so these people would just like walk with one of those like the card reading machines, or just with like a satchel with cash, and they'll just take your order. They'll walk up to you and they'll take your order, and you pay them like on the spot. One dude came up, so and I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling good. I'm like, "Hi there," and the baby tip, and he goes like looks at me like I killed his mom or something. He goes, was sagst du? Woher kommen Sie? In German, it's like, what did you say? Where are you from?
Yeah.
Like, I'm from Japan. Why? And he's like, no, no, no. Like, you speak German, but you don't speak proper German. Like, you're obviously a German speaker. I'm like, oh, well, I'm just visiting from Freiburg, from Austria. And this whole conversation is happening in German. And then he switches over to English for me. He's like, do you speak English? I'm like, actually, English would be much easier for me. Yes. And he goes, okay, where you live in Austria is a very strong dialect. Okay. They use words from like back in the day that nobody says anymore. And in Deutschland, if you say Heide, it's like, how Hitler, You can't say that. I'm like, ooh. Um, First and foremost, it's tut mir leid. I'm sorry. Second off, Entschuldigung, it's tut mir leid. Second off, more importantly, can I still have another beer? He's like, yes, you can have another beer, but
Ein
please
Beer,
don't say
bitte.
hi.
That's
Like even the
crazy.
language, dude, even the language, like
It's tough. And the only reason I knew that is I'm a history nerd and I would like watch like World War II documentaries when I was like bored. Yeah, that's the only reason I knew that. But I didn't know that over there their dialect was like that old because that's like 1940s German.
yeah. That was a interesting uh language lesson, I guess.
I remember when you told me you were going to go play for Dorn, the Wild Farmers, and
Oh, I know exactly the flag, yeah.
yeah. So when I played in Hamburg, we had to go play Dorn. I think this is the year before you went there.
22, yeah. Because you were
Yes,
with the 69ers.
yeah,
Great team name, by the
the
way.
home Weston 69ers. That they told me that they picked the name the 69ers because the founders of the club were all born in 1969.
That's cool. You gotta give it to European baseball. Some of these clubs, man, some of the wildest names.
Oh yeah.
I like. Okay, so first off, the Doran Wild Farmers. Hold on, actually, yo. I'm an alumni. I was a part of that club when we had our most successful season ever. Caught all but 6 innings that season. Sacrificed my
Oh
knee. Yeah, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
They had some sick jerseys. They all wanted a really good run. But that
I
place is in
mean,
the middle of nowhere.
once like your definition of a one stoplight village,
Yeah.
population 1,200, but bro, let me tell you, when we played Heidenheim at our place, so games 3, 4, 5, because games 1 and 2 were in Heidenheim, and we took game 2 from them. Nobody saw that coming. We didn't see that coming. Like that shocked the entire Bundesliga. So now, like, what's cool about the city, Doran City, we call it a city, but because there's so little people, and mind you, this is the only place I'm willing to bet like my entire paycheck from this year. Only village in Europe that baseball club outlasted the soccer club. When I was there, they had to fold the door in soccer club because there weren't enough people.
Wow.
So yeah, like and pretty much like all the boys, like men within the village,
They play.
growing up, at some point were a part of like the wild farmers, whether like a friend was a farmer or they were a farmer. Like so the support was amazing, bro. Like games 3, 4, 5, the entire village and the village over, and like all these people are showing up to our field that's in the middle of nowhere with the cornfields, because we just beat Heidenheim and we beat them at home too. We took game 4 from them. Like that was one thing I will never forget. Like literally the entire village being there for our playoff run. That was special.
Dude, I we're going out there to play their second team because I played in the second Bundesliga. And I'm like, bro, when are we gonna get here? And I'm kind of looking out the window. You can kind of tell when you're getting close to the field because like it starts looking like a city again. I just happened to pee out the window. We're driving by these houses, and there was a Confederate flag in someone's front yard. And I was like, yo, what? Out here? And then you see like five more houses, and it's just like a baseball field next to like two cornfields. I'm just like, wow, they weren't playing around. And see, I had seen pictures of that place like in like the end of summer. So it looks cool because all the corn is like about to get picked off and it looks like the field of dreams in the background. I was in there like the first week of April. It was cold. It was just
It was
wild
dead.
dirt as far as you could see. And I was like, this is crazy. And the whole time I'm sitting there like, bro, how you get a Confederate flag out here? So when you were like, hey, I'm going to be a wild farmer, I was just like, okay, so look, I don't want to scare you, but I would be a bad friend if I didn't tell you what I saw when I was out there.
And I think I messaged you too, bro. Like, oh my God, I gotta look out for this house. And I found it. Like it's on the way to the field from my house. So like now, like they didn't have the Confederate flag anymore. It was like a FC Bremen flag or something. Good people too. Like I met the people who live there, but I think that's just where, you know, like another not a culture shock, but something that happens in a different country and through the history of all that can be viewed as like a pop culture thing or like in another country. Like they don't really understand like the history of it. But like back to the team names though, bro, like for our viewers who's not familiar with like the European baseball scene, there's a lot of crazy names, bro. Doran Wild Farmers, the Rohrbach Crazy Geese, the Graz Dirty Socks, Wiener Neustadt Diving Ducks. Like
I actually don't think that one's too crazy. That one's kind of lit. I like the diving ducks.
I like how they separate the baseball and the softball because the baseball's the diving ducks, but the
And the
softball's
softballs,
the
the
like
chicklets.
the crazy chicklets. I think that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I got a culture shock for you that I know you've seen. So the Dornburn Indians.
Yeah, they're
And
not they're not becoming the
that's not
Guardians
the
anytime.
crazy part. Even though I feel like that's still kind of wrong, but we'll look past that for the sake of the story. I had I had some friends that played in Falkirk, and that's like down the road from Dornburn. And I had some friends that played there, so we went up there to go see them play. And they have this beer company that sponsors the club. So it's like their logo is like on the cushions, on the umbrellas, is everywhere. And it's like the silhouette of like a black woman's head, and it's
It's a
like all
boy,
black,
actually.
like it's like big lips, big nose, and like an afro, and I'm like, um, what is that? So
So,
they,
Troy Justice, we've with all the adventures we've been on, I hope this doesn't ruin our friendship.
oh no, I know you used
But
to drink the crap out of that beer. I already know.
oh yeah, that was like what fueled me through my
Yeah,
time in
because
Austria.
that's like the most popular beer in the region. I don't know what else you
Well,
would have drank.
for the people that are wondering what he's talking about, give me 1 second. So the Mohrenbrau, right? The Freiburger beer,
Are
straight out
those
of Freiburg.
shorts?
Boardies, like
Oh wow.
Sutrunks. You're talking about this, right?
Yeah. I was like, so now I'm on Google, like, I need answers. And the lady is supposed to like have been like she was like an important person. And like over the years, the logo went from like her looking like an actual person to that.
Yeah, if you look at the old logo, because I went to the museum, there's a museum in Dornbirn of Morgenbrau. Like the old logo had like eyes and stuff. Like it looked more like a real person, but then now it's just like that silhouette that they got right there. But great beer, by the way. 5.5, strong, cheap.
It's like stuff like that, like unsuspecting, black guy watching Austrian baseball, and do you see this, and it's like, but it's just like it's a whole different world over there. Like they, like, be real, not a bunch of black people walking around in that side of Austria, So it's like if they do something, and there's no one there for them to be like, hey, that's wrong. They're just gonna keep doing it. So
So Austria is a great example. So we're talking like the Hardballs field, the Feldkirch field. I know there's a couple in Germany, but a lot of these fields would be very lopsided.
yeah, because they
So they
used
could
to
have like a
be,
really, really deep right center and have like a short left field porch or vice versa.
yeah,
And it's because a lot of these baseball fields were built on the aftergrounds of like a soccer field that they don't use no more. And like a soccer field is like a rectangle, and
yeah,
they try to build a baseball field there. So of course, like depending on which way home plate's facing, like one side's gonna be a short porch and the other one's gonna be a ginormous gap,
yeah,
like
yeah. That's how when I was playing in Hamburg, our field used to be two soccer fields. So
okay,
the
okay.
Porsche wasn't that short, but dead center was like 430, something crazy. And then we had the softball field like the opposite corner. So yeah, a lot of those fields with a short porch, they used to be soccer fields. Or if they build like a field, is out somewhere where they have no room to build an actual field, and it's usually not in the city. Because if you've been to a big European town, it's not a lot of room to build a full size baseball field. Like a lot of these villages and homes and communities have been around for like centuries.
Yeah, another pattern you'll see too. Like for example, Sapat, where I'm playing at now, we have it. Hardballs have it. The Dornbirn Indians have it, but one corner of the outfield, right? So it could be the right field corner, or it could be the left field corner, will double as like a youth field.
Yep.
So, so like if you look at Dornbirn's field, if you look at Sapat's field, we have a dirt left field
Same here.
because that's where like the youth games are played. The hard bulls don't have like a dirt outfield, but they have like the cutouts. Like it's all grass, but then like Felkirk too. They have like the around the bases is cut out,
Yeah.
and it's like dirt around there. Like that's another pretty common thing you'll see in Europe as well. And there's also some all dirt fields as well, like Montpellier.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that was terrible Shaq and Fly balls pregame, dude, because it's all dirt. No, only the infield. So where the infield grass is, that's like artificial turf. But other than that, everything is dirt. And like pregame BP, like I'm not an outfielder, so I don't need to take reads. I'm just there to try to get the ball back in,
Yeah.
whatever. But I'm like, yo, anything hitting the gap, I'm like, dude, this ball's gonna keep
Roll into the
rolling for.
fence.
It just got so bad. I'm like, dude, nobody's gonna hit the ball out, but I'm just gonna camp at the fence. I'm just gonna let the ball roll all the way. I'll just patrol the warning track and I'll just pick up the balls that rolled all the way and just roll it in, like
Is all you do.
what field would you say for you and like all the countries you've been in, what field would you say was the most interesting for you?
I don't know. I don't
Nah, you don't know.
what do you got?
Not in Europe, actually.
Okay.
It was actually in Japan.
Oh, okay.
We were playing the Ibaraki Astro Planets. Okay, they're one of the teams in the BC League. And in 2019, when I played in that league, they were a brand new, like newly added franchise. Okay. And I remember this day very specifically because we got rained out after the fifth and we miraculously won. Like we were a bottom feeder team and we won. It was rainy. Like I didn't even get in. I was just catching bullpens the whole time. But this field, bro, it was like not even turf. And it's not dirt. Like you played in Okinawa. Like most Japan fields like all dirt infield and then like a massive grass outfield,
Yeah.
right? And then we also have turf fields. Like you saw our fields in Senar last year when you visited me in Paris. Like we have all turf fields. We have those in Japan too. This one specifically is like a different type of turf from like 30 years ago that they use for like tennis, for example. So it's like hard turf. So like the best example I can give you, like a USA example, would be, those like public parks, like where they have the jungle gym, like the slides, all that. And
Yeah.
the bottom will be like this like soft, hard but soft material. It's like a squishy rock kind of.
Yeah.
Whole field of that.
The whole field. I played on a field
Whole
like
field.
that in Detroit. It was like a really old field, but it had a turf infield. The turf was like that on the infield, but the whole field. Oh my god! I was
So and
5
it's
on that.
raining. And it's raining. And here we are with like metal spikes, and we're trying to like do our like agility warm up stuff, and here we are slipping and sliding everywhere. Here I'm catching bullpens, and I'm like, yo, I am sliding everywhere on this turf, clay, whatever hybrid you want to call it. Like
That's
that
tough.
was probably the most interesting one. Like that was when I genuinely told myself like, yo, I hope I don't get in because this is not a baseball playing environment. And this is a professional stadium too, mind you, like a professional, like Japanese independent league, like professional stadium. I
Wow.
think like capacity of like 1,500 or something. Nice scoreboard in center field, but yeah, man, that was scary.
I played at this field when I was in Puerto Rico. I can't remember the name of the city. We usually played in Aguadilla. It's like on the west side of the island. We played at
Uh,
another stadium. It was like on the side of a cliff. And I'm not being dramatic. Like we used to stand like outside the stadium and it'd be like a cliff. And you could like
yeah,
see
yeah,
the
yeah.
rest of Puerto Rico than like the ocean. It was insane. Every time we would play there, it would be ridiculously windy because the elevation was just like so high. It was a really nice
Mm.
stadium. It was a little bit on the older side, but it was really nice. But being that high, you really feel it when you're out there, and you can feel that ocean breeze is different from being up that high. I don't think I've been on a coast that high and had to play baseball before. That was different.
Do you know what the elevation was? Or
No, I'll have to look it up.
All right. So that was the okay, nicest field you played on.
Nicest playing overseas. That's tough. Might be one of the Prague. I mean, one of the Czech fields though.
You gotta give it to the Czechs, man. Like playing surface is nice. They
Yeah.
definitely do a lot of things baseball wise right. Um,
Yes, the Eagles field, beautiful. Everything's
it's like
nice dirt,
it's
nice grass, padded walls, bleachers, but like I had it all.
yeah, yeah. That's still something like I gotta get used to, but like in a thankful way, where I think to my knowledge, all of these like Czech teams have like a resident groundskeeper who like take care of the mound, they mow the grass, do this, do that, which not every country has that, you know. A
No,
lot of the times these imports would kind of double as the groundskeeper because most of the residents, the natives there don't have the time to go take care of the field. So it's like, oh, you're an import, you got the morning free, you go do that. And I was just so used to doing that where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make sure the batter's box is clay, the catcher's place is clay. But shout out Czech, man. We got groundskeepers, so I don't gotta worry about none of that. Senar was cool too because it was a city-owned field. Plus, it was like an all-turf field.
oh,
Yeah, we still had to like clay the home plate area because that was dirt. But I mean,
that's easy right there.
compared to other places where I had to turn the sprinklers on, mow the grass, make sure everything's clay, do this, do that as an import. Like compared to that, bro, it's easy.
So when I played in home, I tell people I played in Hamburg. Really, I played in this village called Home, HOLM. It was like
Oh,
maybe like 20 minutes from the border of Hamburg. Um, but I don't feel like explaining all that to people. So I just say I played in Hamburg. Close enough. They had built that field pretty much by hand right before I got there. Like they were literally building this field out of these soccer fields during COVID. So when I got there, the field was like new. They was like putting in the scoreboard when I got there. And I'm
mm,
like, this is awesome. It was really nice, but it was kind of like in between like the village and like this forest. Like across the street was like a forest, like a hiking trail. It was really cool. But the way that they made the field wasn't ideal. It was like the sand, then it was like the dirt, but then under the dirt was like rocks, like
mm, mm,
chunks of like rocks under it. So like when it was dry, it was cool, but if it got wet and you dug into the ground, the rocks would start coming up, and I'm like, oh man. So what we did was they had a tennis club next door. So the tennis courts here are made out of clay. So they would give us the old clay and we just put it in around the bases where people step the most and it's and take out the rocks and it worked for the most part, but it's hard, it's really hard for teams in Europe to get these little things like getting clay or making sure the dirt is right and all this other stuff because sometimes they don't know, other times it's just hard to get that stuff because like getting field clay, like I was telling my team here in Oz, like, hey, let me put some clay, on the mound. And the clay they had was like, it was like clay they like dug out of the ground somewhere, which it is clay, but it's not the type of clay that's gonna hold in that mound once you dig your cleat in it for 70.
mm.
So, and that actually reminds me, I have to find a brand for them to get. But people in the club here, they take really good care of the field. I've been getting on them about how they drag it. Well, we drag it after the game, but when we have those brushes, they have these big brushes, and it does a pretty good job. but sometimes when they do like the lane where it goes like from home to first and third, the broom is about the width of the grass, and when you drag it, the dirt pushes out onto the grass. And I'm
So
like,
it creates the lip. Yeah.
yeah, it makes the lip. So I had to explain to them, hey, you keep pushing this dirt on this grass, it's gonna make a lip. You're gonna get a hard ground ball in your face because y'all keep pushing the dirt there. So I got a rake, and I'm like, we got to rake the dirt off the edges and make sure we don't do the thing. So just like little things like that, like I was telling you earlier, I worked on a grounds crew for an independent league when I just got out of college. So like, and then taking care of your own field in college. I went to a small school. We didn't have a grounds crew. It was us. And same in high school. We put the clay in the mound in the batter's box. So I'm happy that I have those experiences now so I can pass it on to these clubs that I play with so they can take care of their fields because they're really proud of them, man. You know, baseball fields aren't all over the place here like they are in America. So
Exactly.
they take pride. They do a pretty good job of taking care of them.
That was like a big eye opener for me because, both of us, Japan and USA, coming from places where baseball's big, we have easy access to everything.
Easy. Here,
When I ended up in hard Austria, first season overseas, it's, I'm like, okay, this is a baseball field. Does it compare to any of these like professional stadiums I played on? No, but it's a ballpark. It plays. You can play baseball. And even during COVID, bro, like they had like entry restrictions, but like I'm sure you've heard the stories, like especially village clubs, since everybody knows everybody, there's like a huge turnout every weekend. Like a lot of your friends are there, like half of the village is there. Even if they don't watch the baseball game and even if they don't understand the baseball, it's an excuse for them to get drunk on the weekend.
yeah.
But anyways, back to what I was saying. What was really cool about hard is like I found out that entire baseball field, all the fences, the batting cage, like we didn't have like an indoor, but we had like a roof batting cage with like a turf ground,
Yeah.
L screens, sock nets, shag nets. Everything there was handmade by the people in the community.
Wow.
So like when the L screens broke in the batting cages, like we'll let somebody within the club know. Then they'll call a friend who's a welder or something, and they'll just build us like a new frame, and then they'll like measure out the netting, and they'll like do it all. And I was like, dude, this is
You really got
cool.
to
Like it
do it
really
yourself. Yeah. A lot of
exactly,
those
and it
people in
really
those
made me
clubs.
like made me appreciate the moment more. Of like
Mhm.
wow, like these people love baseball so much in a place where baseball is not big, but
Yeah.
they love it so much they do all of this by hand by themselves. And for a while, and like even to this day, I think that's amazing
Oh, yeah.
until I had to be on the other end of it. Okay, so being on the other end of this is a import overseas story. We got to get Fook on here one of these days. He will tell it much better. But the hard balls in right field now is a softball slash youth field. Okay. It wasn't there in 2021. It was there 2022. It's still there. The reason why it's there is because we built that when we were there, like from scratch. Okay. Now, building that was a very interesting experience because we had to build like the bleachers, we had to build like the kiosk, like bar setup out there so people don't have to commute back and forth. Mind you, like I've worked odd jobs, I've worked construction as like an off-season job, but I've never had to like lay the foundation or any of that. We're complete amateurs, right?
Hmm.
We're doing that stuff unsupervised. They're like, yo, imports, you guys have time. Can you guys go like lay the concrete foundation? Can you guys go put up like the pillars of the bar that we're building. Yeah. I mean, it was cool, but it was also a very tough job, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
construction worker got my
Um,
respect.
that was interesting, man. Like, I thought I came here to play baseball, and I ended up not even a construction worker, bro. Like a what do you call it? If they build it, they will come. Like I was
Yeah,
that dude.
yeah. No, that's how it is. Every person that's a part of a club, anything that they do professionally or know how to do, they bring those talents to the club. Like we had a problem with our lights, they weren't working. One of the guys in the club happened to be an electrician. He came and he fixed the lights so we could practice. So those guys really really care
They're
about
the backbones,
their
man. They
boys.
really are the backbones, the unsung heroes of
Yeah,
European baseball for sure.
yeah. It's hard to get stuff out here. Like with like if you ship it from America, the customs tax be crazy. And then if
Yeah,
you
man.
get it
Like
here, it's high, or like you have to drive an hour, or you
you
gotta
gotta deal with you
go
gotta
out
deal
your
with
way to.
you gotta deal with like the post office slippage that's in a completely different language that you don't understand. And
Oh man. Okay, I got one more culture shock story for you, and we're gonna have to wrap this up because I just got another. You got 10 minutes left. Call on here,
yeah,
and our second one. So I went to Germany. Didn't I think I forgot to pack my contacts like a dummy. So I was like, "Hey, mom, can you ship me my contacts so I can see?" She was like, "Cool." So she shipped them.
so I can see.
Now I'm staying with a host family, but they're like at work or something. I'm at home by myself, and the postman rings the door, and I don't know what he said, but it sounded like he tried to say my very American name in German, and I was like, Troy. He was like, yes. And he brings the package out of his bag and he goes, 30 euros, please. I'm like, huh? He's like 30 euros custom tax. And I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
do you take card? He put it back in his bag and was like, no, get it from the post office and left. I'm like, how you gonna knock on my
Woo!
door and ask me for cash?
Savage.
You got the little scanner thing, but y'all ain't got tap to pay. That was crazy. So I called my host family and I was like, yeah, can y'all get my contacts from the post office? I'll pay you back when I get paid because car isn't good enough for the postman. So, but they got it.
Those are always a pain in the ass, because I always at least like so the partnership that I have with the glove company of mine, the
Yeah,
Gravity Free, the Korean glove company.
yeah.
Well, we'll get them on the show one of these days too. But when they send me my stuff, I'll usually ask my teammates like, "Yo, go through me, you'll get a discount." So like, we'll do like bulk orders, right? Like 4, 5, 6 gloves, couple jackets, wristbands, whatever. The reason why I try to do this bulk order is like they take care of me, they take care of my boys. Like they'll get the Yoda discount. But the reason why I always try to do the bulk order is because of that shipping and like the customs exactly. Because that coming from Korea too, bro, like that ain't cheap.
No, that's like halfway
Like
across the world.
more the merrier. The more people who order stuff, we can split that customs tab. But man, that's yeah, one of the things of living overseas for sure. Actually, one last story from me too about post office. I had this experience in Germany, in Doran, your favorite city.
Not a city.
I ordered like an elbow guard, like an Evo Shield from Baseball Minister. That's like a very big European baseball online shop out here.
Yeah.
But the housing setup was I was basically living in the basement of one of like the club members, but the basement was cool. Like that was like a whole separate house inside this house. Like we had own kitchen, own bathroom, like two bedrooms. Like it was like our apartment underground basically.
Right.
But because this place was under the name of like the owner of the house, right? When I ordered this product and I punched in the address, they couldn't deliver it to me because my last name and the address's registered name didn't match up. So basically, I had to like go back and write them an email saying, "Yo, this is the situation. Like, I'm the one who ordered, but the house is under this person." They're like, "Okay, so put the homeowner's last name, and then it should be delivered." Like that was a interesting situation I've never had to face.
That's crazy. That
Yeah,
that I don't even know what to say.
I mean, good thing is the so because of that, like the shipping took like 2 days longer. It literally arrived before opening day, like the day of. So here I am, like you know how the Evo Shield process works. Like you like get
Got
it, then you like wrap it up and you form it. Dude, I'm doing that as I'm biking to the field. So here I am with a gauzed up elbow guard going to the field for opening day because this elbow guard that was supposed to come 2 days ago shows up right, literally right before opening day. Yeah,
different
overseas,
world
man.
out here, baby. It's a different world.
Adapt or die, for sure.
It's a game of adjustments. It's a life of adjustments. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us, Yodai. It's always a pleasure, man. From me and Yodai here in Europe, this is Imported, the Athletes and Travel podcast. Tune in next week. It's going to be a great show. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment, give us a great review, and tell your friends about us. We want to make this community big and informative. I've been getting a lot of good feedback from the podcast. Thank you, guys. It's only up from here.